Everybody, Nathaniel Bungie here for TechSession. Today I have for you Poetic's main case options for this device, the Samsung Galaxy S6. Now note that this is not the Edge version. This is just a standard base model Samsung Galaxy S6. Now you know I've worked with Poetic in the past, so they were an obvious choice when I wanted to find out some great case options for this device. So I got into contact with them and they graciously sent me out these two cases for review. The Poetic Affinity for the Samsung Galaxy S6 and the Poetic Revolution. I have reviewed the Revolution before for the LG G Pad 7.0. It did have an all black back though, so I really like this blue color option that I requested from them. So we'll start off with the Affinity. Quick tour around the box. Standard Poetic packaging. You get the branding on the sides. The bottom has their little designed in San Francisco. And on the right hand side you get the branding again. The top side just has a little tab to cut. Then on the back of the package, you get another standard Poetic doing here, where you can see some of the features of the case. Durable, transparent back, has good grip, and it's lightweight. And if you look towards the bottom, you will see that again stated in many different languages, along with the regulatory information and the barcode. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and pop open the package. So just get through that pull tab there. It'll slide right out. And it looks like we got nothing else in the box, so we're going to set that off to the side. And then it looks like all we have here is just the Affinity itself, so pull it out of the tray, throw the tray off the side. And then you got this little shipping paper in here, so just push that out. You can see your Poetic warranty statement here. It has a 3-year warranty. I really think that's an amazing warranty period, honestly. Now, again, this does not protect against, like, drops or anything, incidental damage, I guess you could call it, but that protects against stuff that is a defect of build. Just a quick tour around the case itself. You can see you have this frosted clear back, which I pretty much like. You can also see towards the top of the rear of the case, you have this black little bezel, might I say, around the flash, heart rate sensor, and camera. The left-hand side of the case, you get your covered volume buttons, a little bit of grip right here with a little tiny bit of see-through plastic. The bottom, you get your headphone jack cutout, your speaker cutout, and your micro USB cutout. The right-hand side, you get a little bit more grip with those see-through windows at the power button. And the top, you have a cutout for your microphone and your IR blaster. Now, like I just mentioned, this back is plastic, and then these sides seem to be a TPU type of material, which is pretty much a blend between rubber and plastic for those of you who do not know. So, the next step in a case review is to try to install the phone. So all we're going to do is just slot the phone in the top and push it in the sides. Oh, it looks like the top popped out. So we got the side in. We're just going to push around the sides over here. Make sure we got the phone all the way installed. And here we go. Now I will note I do have a tempered glass screen protector installed, but as you can see here, it absolutely does not interfere with the function of this case at all. Still fits perfectly fine. You can see there's a little bit of a raised lip around the edge of the device here to protect the screen from a face-down drop or just setting it on a table if that's what you do. So you can see along the sides here you get a little window letting you see the aluminum, which actually looks really sharp in combination with the white of the device. And this frosted back really doesn't do much except for make it less of a glare off the back of the device. I do love how you can still see the branding on here though, and it's a very adequate cutout for the camera and the heart rate monitor as well as the flash. Your finger still slides very nicely into the heart rate monitor if you use it. I'm not one of those people that does though, because I feel like it's a novelty item. You can see your adequate cutouts up here. You can also see your adequate cutouts at the bottom, even leaves room for your microphone. You do have these reinforced corners here with a tiny bit of Poetic branding, not intrusive at all. A great adequately sized headphone jack cutout. And then one of the main things, how tactile are the buttons? They are a little hard to press and squishy. They're not raised, so it might make it kind of hard to find. I can see myself getting used to this though, just because I already know where the buttons are, and I can see these also breaking in over the time, making it a lot easier to do. That's what we have for the Poetic Affinity case. Now we're going to move on to the Revolution. So you're going to get to see how hard it is to take this out of the Affinity case. And so far, we're just going to push on here and try to ease the device out of the case. So we're going to set this case off to the side and get onto the Revolution. So what the Revolution boasts is a very simple package here. You can see absolutely nothing. Now I don't know if this is just press packaging, media packaging, or if this is retail packaging, but either way, I don't really care, because I am here for the case, not for the packaging. So you're just going to peel off through these little notches here. They should meet up in the middle somewhere, and let you open it like that. Just throw that away. And then you have this little Ziploc style closure on the bag. So just pull it open, and then you get to pull your case right out. So throw that bag off to the side unless you want to keep it for something. I don't know why you would. You just pull this little plastic part off the front. You can see this very sharp looking blue bezel in there. I didn't notice that in the pictures, but that looks really nice. And then you can see throughout here, there's this little piece of cardboard in there. We're going to leave that for now, because we can't get to that until we remove the screen protector, disassemble the case, but we are going to do a tour around it. So you see at the bottom you have your open speaker and microphone hole, but you do have these closed ports for your headphone jack and for your micro USB slot. Now in the past, these ports have worked out perfectly fine for me in Poetic cases. They don't interfere with anything at all. What I have just noticed as well that I really like is there's this little dent here, which should allow your finger to work much more nicely with the fingerprint sensor integrated into the home button. Speaking of which, they have included a hole in the screen protector, which you can kind of see here, to allow the fingerprint sensor to still work. Same thing goes towards the top of the case where you have a little tiny cutout for your earpiece and for your camera. So again, we get the standard Poetic procedure, fully covered buttons, nice and big buttons here too. The top, you get your cutouts. Same thing with the right side, you get your covered button, power, and I might also like to add, all these buttons are labeled. And let's see basically first of all, how easy this case is to open. I know with the Poetic Revolution case for the LG G Pad 7, I had a real heck of a time getting it out. So let's see how this one manages to treat me. So we're going to pull off this little lip away from the bezel, so this black should separate fairly easily. Okay, there we go. So you can see the back of the case right here, the inside back of the case it is. You have a smooth design, and you also do have this blue Poetic branding on the back, which is very unobtrusive, and I really like that. So you get the same Poetic warranty card here, which we can ignore because we've already read that. You get the little fake Poetic device here. And then on the inside of this little screen protector here, we are going to find a little lip and peel it off. One thing I've noticed that I'm not really liking right off the bat is you can see I have a lot of fingerprints on here just from me taking it apart. And I do understand that this is plastic, so it's generally going to happen, but it doesn't mean I'm any more pleased with it. So we're going to take the device here. I'm going to leave this glass screen protector on just because I might end up popping the plastic out of here. But for the sake of this video, we're just going to see if we can install it anyway. And this should come right around the sides of the device, not interfere with anything. Going to get this over the power button. That didn't sound too good, but everything is fine because it's all made of metal. So we have the device inserted into the screen protector side. We're just going to slide it into the case. The bottom side should go in there first, because that's where you have all your ports and stuff. Just get that slotted in, and then slowly just push all the sides of the device into place and get it seated inside the body. And it looks like we are good to go. So this is a really great feeling case, I'm not going to lie. This case feels absolutely awesome. Did miss a little bit there, but this case really fills up my hand, and despite this little bit of an angular design, it really has great curve to it. Again, it fits perfectly in my hand. It's just a really pleasing feel. So you can see you have a great cutout on the back. Just like with the Affinity, your finger can slide in there perfectly. But unlike the Affinity, these buttons have an extremely tactile feel, and they're very easy to find. They are labeled again, so in case you happen to be glancing at it in the dark, you'll still be able to tell which is which. On the front of the device, you can see that the screen protector does indeed work with the glass one, although I wouldn't necessarily recommend keeping it that way. Let's just test out the fingerprint sensor functionality. Works perfectly fine. So we're going to go ahead and lock it again, and look at the cutouts at the top. These cutouts should be perfectly fine, as they leave room for the camera, just enough over by the bezel, and enough by the earpiece and your sensors. Now, one thing I will note with cases such as these in the past, I have noticed that this raised lip on the side does sometimes interfere with phone call functionality. It makes it a lot less of a comfortable case to use when you're taking a call. So those are your two Poetic case options for the Samsung Galaxy S6. You have the Affinity and you have the Revolution. I think both are great options, but I would recommend the Revolution over the Affinity just based on the increased protection, the nice look of the white against the color, and the amazing feel in the hand. So that's about it, all I have for you today. I will leave links to these products in the description, thanks to Poetic. And until next time, this is Nathaniel Bungie from TechSession. See you later.